Hey everybody, welcome back. These are some dates being ruined in 28 seconds or less.
Story time of when I ignored every red flag and still went on the date. Because I was traveling and wanted someone local to explore with, I agreed to go on a last minute date. That was red flag number 1. He offered to take me out for burgers and drinks. I said yes, and when I gave him my address, I was 15 minutes away. He asked me for gas money.
Oh,
that was red flag number 2. I laughed it off, did not send him money, and he still decided to come. He didn't open the car door for me or wait outside the car, but I wasn't even surprised. On our way, he parked in like a random alleyway and told me that him and his friends were wondering if were real. I told him it was a rude question to ask, and he verbatim went, "No, I don't think so." That's number 3. We got to the bar, he got me a drink, we had decent conversation, whatever. Our drinks are empty, I'm getting really hungry, and he starts insinuating I buy him a drink, which absolutely not, this is the date. After 10 minutes, I suggested he can get a second round of drinks if he wants more, because at this point, we're just like sitting drinks empty at a bar, which is kind of strange. And he just makes this weird, prolonged noise, hoping that I forget I ever said anything. That was some kind of red flag number 4. With my drink empty, he starts showing me a hot dog eating competition he won 6 years ago. We're both sober for this. I forgot to mention he also played Pokemon Go, which I didn't mind. It was kind of fun, but a strange time to play it.
Okay.
Anyways, I asked if we get burgers, and he said McDonald's was right across the street.
Oh.
Red flag number 5. I was so hungry, I said yes. McDonald's was closed. So rather than going elsewhere, he decides to take me to the city viewpoint, which I can only assume is his version of being romantic and trying to get me alone.
Right.
He puts on One Direction karaoke and starts singing, serenading me. Bro, I just wanted to go home, and I was trying to navigate the situation to keep myself safe and not piss him off. When we get home, I'm in the passenger seat facing forward like this, and he's like this in the driver's seat. If I move my face, we're kissing. I'm ignoring his body language, and I even told him before that I don't generally kiss on a first date. He asked to kiss me, and I think of the only thing I can say to get out of it. I asked him my name.
Yes, girl!
And I took that as my cue to leave. So naturally, He starts yelling in front of the whole neighborhood, purely because I wouldn't kiss him. Lastly, this man was a stand-up comedian, which is red flag number 7, so I guess we're both sharing the story.
Wow. Okay. Girly pop, you are so beautiful. So beautiful. And hey, we all ignore some red flags every now and again. Let's be realistic. Nobody likes anybody. We just tolerate other people. But there are certain things that I wouldn't have tolerated that you could have walked away from the date from easily after hearing. The money thing is kind of like, ooh, yeah, see, the thing is there's a lot of guys that are getting annoyed with, women not paying their way on first dates, especially if they don't know you or whatever, because there's plenty of women who do go on dates with no intention of ever seeing guys again. I would imagine it gets tiresome for girls to expect that and then to never have it go anywhere. That's if your intentions are pure. I only have sympathy for the dudes that are tired of paying and their intentions are pure. But this guy does not have pure intentions. And you want to know why I know that? He asked about the cherries. And even then, the audacity to think that you are worth one drink and some McDonald's for access to those cherries. Embarrassing. How are you not embarrassed? Okay, but also to be fair, my favorite thing to do is also what she did in this video. This was back when I was single and mingling. I would ask him my name. And if he had no care in the world, had absolutely no desire to know my name, absolutely not, I'm not going with you. Absolutely not. It even happened to me recently where I was ran into someone that I used to be friends with in New York, and he invited me to come for a drink with him, and I was like, do you remember my name? And he was like,
no, I don't.
I was like, okay, I'm good. No, I'm gonna go with my friends though. Thanks. It's a nice little I know what you're doing. I see what you're doing. And it's gonna be a no from me. That's a little trick for you guys, all right? You feel uncomfortable in a situation, guys trying to pressure you, whatever. You girls trying to pressure you, whatever. Trying to get something out of you, whatever it may be, whether it's drinks or giggity. Ask if they know your name. And the fact that he matched with you on Hinge, where you see the person's name, and still didn't know it? Girl, he just wanted them cherries. That's what's up. I guarantee he has a 10-minute set about this where he's rewritten the story to make himself look good. I actually agree with you, but I think that he probably left out the fact where he asked you for gas money. It is one thing to ask a girl to pay her way on the first date, especially, like, I would always do that. Especially if I didn't like him. I would only allow him to pay if I liked him. If I didn't like him and I still let him pay or insisted that he paid, like, I'm sorry, but he's making an investment into something that's not gonna happen. So, like, I feel bad about that. But I'm sorry, asking for gas money? No. We know who was using who on that date.
Okay, so a guy that I've had a crush on forever slid in my DMs and asked if I wanted to get dinner with him. And oh my God, I was so excited. So I told all my friends and they were so excited for me. I mean, like, he's just a super popular guy and everyone likes him. He's so cute, so nice. I could not believe that this guy was like cold open asking me on a date, but I was so excited. I was like, well, I'm not gonna question it. I'm just gonna show up. So I get ready, I show up to the restaurant. He's already there. I asked where he was sitting and then I couldn't find him anywhere and I look around. I see him sitting in the corner at a table with another girl. So what do you do? I don't know what to do. And I was like, oh, maybe it's definitely just like, I don't know what I was thinking actually. I don't know why I'm trying to narrate what I was thinking. I just walked over to the table and he was like, hey, this is my friend. And I was like, okay. Like, I thought maybe she was just, I don't know, passing by. Nope. So I sit down at this table and he's like, how are you? And I'm like, good. How are you guys? Plural. He was like, oh, we're good. And then he starts just talking to her, doesn't give me any intro, any explanation. I'm confused. I really at this point still thought that maybe she was just like walking by and like happened to know him. But also she was like very comfortable in her seat. She ordered a drink. So it was like, oh my God, is this like a 2-on-1? Are we like on The Bachelor right now? Imagine a guy you really like asks you on a date and you show up and he's also on a date with another girl at the same time. What do you do? I don't know what to do. And it's not even like it was like a group like thing because she wasn't talking to me at all.
Whoa.
Yeah,
no, that was fully
it too. The waiter comes and asks what we want to eat. And I was like, this is definitely her cue. Like she definitely has somewhere more important to be. Nope. She orders an entree. So the three of us go on a date. We're on a date together.
Not the entree.
And I was literally in shock. Like I didn't know. And then I started gaslighting myself. I was like, wait, why did I think this is a date? Like it's definitely just a fun group thing. But what kind of fun group thing is that when neither of them are really even talking to me? Neither of them are even talking to me. So, and also a single guy asking a single girl to get dinner with her. Isn't that a date?
Yeah,
right? I don't know.
Fair.
That's a date. So now it's time to leave. And I feel like I did not say 4 words to this guy, but he asked if I wanted to ride home. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'm down. We get in the car and he kisses me. So what is this? Was that a date? I don't know. I was in shock. I don't even know why I let him kiss me when that was the weirdest thing I've ever done. After, he texted me and asked me what I thought about his Instagram. And I was like, it's a guy's Instagram. What do you want me to say? And he was like, no, I mean, like, I've been thinking about hiring someone to run my Instagram. And I was like, so that was a group interview to win a job, I guess, and someone to make out with? Why did he make out with me if he was trying to hire me? For like 10 minutes, by the way. So, yeah.
What the actual did I just watch? Oh, that is so weird. You know what also makes me uncomfortable? The fact that she didn't acknowledge you and seemed to be totally fine also with you being at that table with her and him. Honestly, I feel like this is like a twisted way for him to like let you know that he has like other options and it's nothing serious, but like still keep you there. I don't know how you could have sat at that table and not been like,
I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit confused. Are you guys on a date or are we on a date? Like, what's going on here? I need to know. I'd like to know what's going on before I order my entree. If I order my entree at all, what the actual is happening here?
like the Chick-fil-A girl, like just. I'm gonna what? You did not let him kiss you after that. I know the entire night I was in shock. Also, we were in a car together, so I felt like dodging it would have been weird. Girl, we're beyond weird at this point. Like, it has been weird. He had no problem putting you in a weird situation here. I feel like you have the license to be weird now. None of this makes sense. That's sort of happened to me before, where like, I've been interested in a guy, we're kind of talking to each other, and then he takes that opportunity to like, let me know in his own twisted way that, like, I'm not the only one. Or, like,
Don't get too comfortable.
or like,
By the way, this is not anything serious, but we can later if you want.
oh man. A younger, more insecure Charlotte fell for it, for sure. Just happy to be there. Happy to be on the roster. Oh, it's my turn? Oh, goody.
Goody!
I at that past Charlotte.
My worst date ever was in 2015. I drove an hour to pick her up. I waited outside for 15 minutes in the rain waiting for her to come out. Her younger brother wiped his pecker across the glass door while I waited, which was weird.
Wait,
When
what?
she finally came out, she played Angry Birds in the passenger seat of my car all the way to the restaurant and said nothing the entire way. When we got to the restaurant, she ordered the number 2 family style, which as it turned out was a poo-poo platter for 8. When I confronted her about it, she very loudly accused me of fat shaming when I'm pretty sure we both know she was just gonna bring it home and feed her siblings. When we got out of there, it took her 4 boxes of leftovers to leave, and she dumped one of them all over my car. Didn't even bother to clean it up. When we got back to her house, I was getting ready to leave, and she asked, "Are you gonna kiss me goodnight?" To which I said no, kind of politely. And pissed, she sicked her very vicious German Shepherd on me, which bit me in the calf.
Whoa.
On the way home, I got a flat tire, and I'm pretty sure it was from her because there were 3 roofing nails straight up in a row.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying about, like, some guys just not being, like, entirely forthcoming when it comes to paying for women they don't know on dates, okay? I can get where it comes from, too. Because it's stuff like this where it's like, okay, clearly you don't even like me and you're just here to get a free meal. You're probably going on another date tomorrow with somebody else, maybe. Like, I can get where they're coming from, too, to some degree. How do people have the audacity? No shame. It's people like that that are always getting what they want while I'm over here with a good heart and alone. I relate to this. I relate to this a lot. And it's not only that, it's also like mean girls, you know, like girls that are like really, really mean to other people and to men as well. They always seem to get the most men. Doesn't matter if you're prettier than them or not. Nicer than them, more talented, got a good head on your shoulders. No, it's not really about that. It's something else that I've never really understood. Thank God I don't really need to anymore, I hope. Fingers crossed. Men will tell you exactly who they are if you listen. Yes, they do. They always do. And pay attention.
I have a few dating stories that are so bad that I have to wait like a year before I can tell you guys them. And this is one of them. We're coming up on 1 year. When they say men will tell you who they are right in the beginning and listen to them, this is one of those situations. Well, this was back when I was in London and I was on Hinge. This guy asked me for my phone number. We were chatting on Hinge for a little bit. He asked me for my phone number and then he calls me. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like freaking out to Alexa. This guy's calling me right now. She's like, answer the phone. So I answer the phone and he's like, hey, I just wanted to see what you were doing tonight. I'm going out for some drinks with some friends and I'm wondering if we could meet up at some point. And I was also going out for drinks with friends. So I'm like, yes, but it's going to be a group thing because I'm not ditching my girls to go on a date with you. And he's like, totally fine. I will come meet you and your friends. Casual. I'm going to be with my friends. They can get like a read on him as well. So we're out at a pub. He ends up coming to meet us. He like leaves his friends to come meet me and my friends. And we grab a drink. He like offers to buy everyone drinks. Okay. So far, so good. He was really cute. Whatever. We're sitting there chatting. Alexa and I, at this point, had made it a point to ask people when we meet them if they have a car. Because it's really common in London to, 1, not have a car, or 2, not drive. Just because of the public transportation is so easily accessible. So we were asking people because we wanted to go on a road trip. Alexa jokingly asked him, hey, do you drive? And he says, not anymore. Honestly, the way that he said it was kind of strange, but I don't think anyone was going to ask any questions. And then he just went off. Like, he just goes, yeah, I actually totaled my car. So naturally, we're like, how did you total your car? And he goes, well, my friends made me the designated driver on a night out, but then they also decided to start buying me shots.
Oh.
So naturally, I was all of his friends in the car. And he runs into like the concrete wall on the side of the freeway. I don't even know how much of the story I can actually say on here, but he goes off about how it's his friend's fault for buying him shots, even though they knew he was driving. Even I'm just like, is this actually coming out of this man's mouth right now?
Whoa, whoa,
I
whoa.
was shocked. And then he goes on to say that, like, he got pulled over by the police and got in legal trouble. The way that all three
For
of us
drunk
would literally
driving?
just sit in there like, is this actually happening right now? Like, I asked him if he could drive, and this is the story he decided to say the first time he meets an entire group of girls. He did not say it like as if he felt remotely bad about it. But honestly, I do have to thank him for telling me that on the first time I met him, because I did not have to waste a single more second
Period.
hanging out with him. I sat there in complete silence afterwards. I couldn't physically say another word to him. My friends were like trying to entertain him for a couple more minutes, and then he asked us to like go to a club with him afterwards, and we were like, I think we're gonna go home.
No, I think we'll go home. I think that's a no. Honestly,
Hits every time.
dude, I could barely listen to this story. I was watching her with this egg thing. What is that? What is this egg thing? You're like shoving the egg in and it's making grated egg? And you're putting that on avocado toast. I'm sorry, I found that very interesting. Anybody else?
Wow.
Is this what the kids are doing these days? I didn't even know that something like this existed. That's insane. All right, back to the story. It's almost like he was telling you guys because he wanted you to be on his side. Like he clearly did something very, very illegal and wrong. Probably got his license taken away. Might be, going to court.
He's like, yeah, it's just so lame, man. Like, my friends bought me shots and I just force-fed them. Had no choice but to take these shots. And then I totaled my car with a bunch of people in it and almost killed a bunch of people. Yeah, it's totally not my fault, though.
I feel like that's a sign that he's a gaslighter, And just think, if he didn't tell you that about himself, you wouldn't know. You could go on weeks and weeks dating this man. Not a clue in the world. When I started this video, I thought you were going to say, something about like, oh, men will tell you exactly who they are, just like saying things like,
Yeah, I'm just not a good guy. I'm just not a good guy. You're too good for me. Yeah.
oh, okay, fair. Thank you for letting me know. Not a good guy. Appreciate you letting me know. This insight is valuable. But no, he literally told you that he was like a criminal. Okay, yes. Flat out said that he's a criminal and is not sorry about it. Cool. On to the next. Swipety swipe.
Probably like Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
And Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson. All of them, they're kind of just leading the new age thinking for all men, Men these days are becoming just kind of like, they're putting stuff in the water to make the frogs gay. They're making everything gay.
Gay frogs.
Freaking, especially being here in LA. Like, I wish I was in Dallas. Yeah, usually crypto has its ups.
There's
and
the
downs,
crypto.
right? There's cycles in 2017 where it has a bull run and then it drops completely. When it's in the when no one's really thinking about it, that's when you invest heavily into it. I was early on it, to be honest. I was 17.
Oh, sorry. I don't know how you're sitting there and intently listening, except for the fact that I'm sure that you're probably just so taken aback by this conversation. Gay frogs, really? Gay frogs? We're gonna go down that route on a first date? And apparently this is actually real. Like, he got really mad that she shared this on social media. But like, not mad about the fact that he's the only one talking. Like, it's not like you're portraying him as being anything other than what he is. People are making their own assumptions for themselves. Just listening to this guy talk, you should be embarrassed. You should be.
So I went on by far the worst date of my life on Tuesday. I doubt any of you guys can top it. It almost made me halt doing it for the plot, but I'm not gonna quit that easy. Matched with this chick on Bumble last weekend, right? And we start talking. She's super cool. She's like, do you want to go out to eat? I'm like, that's my favorite thing to do. She's like, I heard this Chinese restaurant is really good. I'm like, I've been there. It is really good. Let's meet up. I get there, right? And she's cool, but I can tell she's skittish because before we even got our food, she went outside twice to hit her pen. And I was like, she said something kind of peculiar. She goes, disclaimer, I really don't even like Chinese food. I'm like, oh, why did you want to meet up here? And she goes, well, I'm a people pleaser, and I didn't want you to feel uncomfortable eating something you didn't like. And I was like, we can go somewhere else if you don't like this food. She goes, it's okay. I'm used to mirroring people. I go,
Weird.
red flag. Anyway, so we continue
Mirroring.
talking. It's casual. And then our food gets there. So I go to the bathroom to wash my hands. And I left my phone sitting on the table, not thinking anything of it. Get back to the table. I go to unlock my phone to take a photo of the food, as one does, because the teriyaki chicken and miso soup looked absolutely beautiful. And my phone was disabled, not just for 1 minute,
Oh,
but
she
for
tried to
5,
unlock it.
which means someone tried my passcode and then after it was
Wait.
disabled for a minute, tried it again
Whoa.
after. So I'm a tad bit sketched out at this point, but I was like, maybe it was a fluke, so I just let it go. She asked me a very odd question. She said, do you think women will get drafted into World War III, and do you think they should have to go if so? I was like, conspiracy theorist, this is weird now. Honestly, I had no idea how to respond, and then I finished my food. She didn't even touch hers, and she's like, can I use your phone for a second? I have to call my sister. I'm like, sure. So she goes outside, allegedly calls her sister, comes back in after like a minute and goes, so do you want to go back to your place now, or what do we do?
What?
I'm like, what? I responded with, I'm kind of tired. I might just head home and call it. She was infuriated. She's like, whatever. I have another date after this anyway, so it doesn't even matter. I'm going to go. I'm like, it's like, whatever, weirdo. So she walks out. I put cash on the table to pay for the tab, and then I leave. Here's the absolute kicker that I don't know if you guys are ready for. I get home, I take a shower, trying to forget about that terrible date, and then I get a missed call from the restaurant we just ate at. They inform me that I walked out on my tab, didn't pay it, didn't tip. I'm like, I left cash on the table. They're like, can you come back in tomorrow? I'm like, sure. Well, I go in the next day and I'm like, I swear to God, I left cash on the table right there.
You.
And they're like, well, we have security cameras. Do you want to watch them? I'm like, yeah. Oh
Stop.
my God. She went into Sally's Beauty right next door. I left. She came back in and took the money off the table. Not only that, but they have her on camera trying to unlock my phone in the bathroom and then putting it underneath her legs like that. Straight to jail. She needs to be arrested, and it's absolutely disgusting. I went to the doctor right away because I was like, why did she put my phone underneath her butt? I talk on that thing like this. I am currently freaking out because I'm waiting for my doctor to call me back, but does this eye look a little red to you?
Wait!
Actually farted into my phone and gave me pink eye.
Stop!
I will go mentally insane. Anyway, her name is Melanie.
Melanie.
So watch out for her because she will steal your money and then fart in your phone. One of the worst experiences of my life, I may take a sabbatical from going on internet dates because what the actual
Pun intended.
I cannot believe I actually just told the entire internet that, but I might have to go as Captain Hook for Halloween weekend and wear an eye patch. So...
My good sir, you are so cute and so sweet. I'm so sorry this happened to you. But like, wow, what a story. What a story. She crazy. That's so good. That's some of the craziest shit I've ever heard. I love her so crazy. It just got weirder and weirder. Like, I didn't even fathom, like, it didn't even cross my mind that putting your phone like underneath would... Why are you farting on the phone? Why did you fart on the phone? Are you just like out on dates, hating men? Maybe she was looking through your phone, kind of thinking, oh, he's probably like got a girlfriend. Oh, I need to make sure, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, also going on dates with other men and then farts on the phone and then robs you? Like, are we okay? Brother. This is why I honestly feel like it's better if you meet like through somebody else. Like if it's like a date, like even then though, like people are weird. You can know someone on a friend vibe or like a family vibe, family friend vibe, and like they can act totally normal. But then when it comes to dating, they are weird. But at least like if they've been vetted, you know, somebody knows them in advance, then at least they're not a serial phone farter and won't like rob you blind. Dear Lord. Jesus, take the wheel. Both hands. Men's horror stories hit so differently. Like, they really do. I feel like I've heard it all before, if not, like, experienced that myself when it comes to a woman sharing a horror story. But when it comes to, like, men sharing horror stories, it's they also don't got it too good. You know what I'm saying? Like, women can be nuts. Most of us are a little nuts, all right? That's next level, though. Like, that's like... jail. I'm surprised she didn't steal your phone too. Maybe she was putting it under her butt to like take it from you or something. I cannot. I actually cannot. That is foul. That is
Foul.
I think that maybe she went on a date to like rob you and like she tried to like take your phone or like she sat on it or something to be like,
Oh, I don't know. Where is your phone? Like, I don't know.
and then she like didn't have time to put it on silent or turn it off or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know what was going on. If anybody knows, if anybody speaks crazy, could you please inform us? Because like my brain cannot compute that she put it under her fart on it and give it back to you.
Guys, I just went on one of the craziest dates I think I've ever been on. Welcome to my dating diaries where I overshare my dating life in New York. So the night was off to a good start. He offered to call me a car to the restaurant we were meeting at for dinner. It's very rare I'll say yes to dinner for a first date. I much prefer drinks because it's so much easier to leave if you're not into the vibe. But I decided to say yes to dinner, so we met at Sartiano's in Soho. When we got to the restaurant, I ordered a martini, and then he ordered us a bunch of dishes to share. He was completely normal, and conversation was a solid 7 out of 10.
Caviar,
We ended up ordering a
cool.
bottle of wine, and that's when he made a comment that I talk too much when I'm drinking wine.
Oh.
I brushed that comment off my shoulders, and once we were done dinner, he asked me if I was in the mood to go to another bar for drinks.
Where
To be
I
completely
don't
honest,
talk?
I was so ready to go home at that point since it was late and it was a Tuesday night, but I said, why not? I'll go have one more drink with this guy. On our way to the next bar, he asked me if I was into fashion and what's on my current shopping list. I told him I wasn't really looking into anything at the moment, but then I realized there is a bag that I've been wanting for a while now. So when we got to the bar, he asked me to show him the bag, so I pulled it up on his phone and he immediately bought it.
Whoa.
I was in complete shock. I did not expect him to actually buy it, so of course I thanked him and told him that he didn't have to do that. This is when things took a turn for the worse. He told me to delete my Instagram and my riot. And I told
Wait.
him absolutely not.
Wait.
He then went on to tell me that I must listen to him and obey him. I basically told him that you're acting crazy right now and I'm ready to go. Once we left the bar, he asked if he could come back to my apartment, and I told him no because I never allow guys back on the first date. That's when he began to gaslight me, call me crazy, and accuse me of being a feminist, and he went on to say how much he hates feminists. He was just so upset that I told him no, he can't come back to my apartment, so at that point, I told him to call himself an Uber home and I'll walk myself the rest of the way, and that was the last I've heard from him.
At this point, it's not even about being a feminist. It's just about like safety. Like, this man wined and dined you and then told you talk too much, which is like, he kind of just wants you to like be his little accessory. I'm just saying, if he's not there to like talk to you and get to know you, he just kind of wants you to be there to make him look good. That was so unbelievably transactional. Like, are you kidding me right now? I was like, oh girl, he got you a Gucci bag. That's so exciting. Wait, no, but the Gucci bag comes with strings, as it does. Don't be accepting no Gucci from nobody without knowing the risks. And it's funny because like, he did everything right. You know, he took you out to dinner, which is great. Took you to a nice restaurant, got you, you know, caviar with your martini. Look at that caviar. I just spooned that right into my mouth. And you know how he ruined it?
You talk too much when you drink wine.
Done. Literally done for me. Over. Bye-bye. Sayonara.